right, geek news for today. There is Borderlands 3 news, but that is going to be a dedicated video uploaded to the Geek channel later on today, because there's 3 or 4 things surrounding the game coming out. A couple of controversies, stuff about, microtransactions and other things that are revolving around the game and the date of its release and all the stuff that's casting a shadow on Borderlands 3. So that's going to have its own very special Geek News video. So be on the lookout for when that comes out. That's definitely going to be coming out today. So we have Desperados 3. Desperado. Oh. All right. Sorry. Let me see. Let me see here. When it was time to come around and book appointments for Gamescom this year, my very first booking of the whole event was with Desperados 3. What I looked at as Shadow Tactics Spaghetti Western with a dash of Hitman last year had been expanded on and given a sprinkle of the mystical. Okay, I was told that there would be between 10 to 15 levels within the final release of the game that's been expanded upon, or those original plans weren't exactly solidified. What this person saw was 16 different levels on this game, and they were told that it would be 16 to start with, hinting at future DLC and more levels through those DLCs. The quality of terrain, the character models, everything has seen improvement. Much like in Shadow Tactics 2, where footprints would show up in the snow, this you will see you leaving footprints in both mud and sand. You'll want to be careful on the movements you take, though naturally in a game like this, you can use that to your advantage. Give me a second. Alright, so when it comes to guard posts, you can actually see how many guards are positioned in there, and will pop out if the alarm is raised, so highlighting the range of their alarm area. Very useful information to know, to say the least. So, we're looking at this through this person's eyes. Other changes that have been made include the ability to pause the game, letting you plan and link actions together in a way that was somewhat reminiscent of Jagged Alliance. Also, one thing to mention before I talk about the combat is that you will also have a number of customizable difficulty options, adjusting everything from your ammo and health to how far you can actually see. So this game sounds really, really interesting. Isabel has powers. The ability to mind control an enemy, and even a chicken. I like how they kind of, yes, you heard me, you can mind control a chicken. Linking characters together so what happens to one character happens to another. I see that as an exploit. I see that as an exploit. Revolutionary, right? For example, you can link 2 enemies together and then distract one of them, which also distracts the other. That will link them together and then sneak up with another character, slitting the poor bugger's throat. The other person will also die, completely unaware of what magical force has done them in. These options are limitless, though my favorite option shown was to simply mind control one enemy, have him control a Gatling gun, and mow down everybody mercilessly. The linking minds together, I can see people exploiting it to make the game easier. Can't you? It's just a thing with me. Ronan pointed that out this morning when I read him this article. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to so far. I want to see the speed runs, right? All right. CD Projekt Red confirms Cyberpunk 2077 will use first-person cutscenes. CD Projekt Red has addressed fan concerns around which camera perspective Cyberpunk 2020 will use during cutscenes, confirming it will be 100% first person. Work in progress Cyberpunk footage seen so far has included third-person scenes. The switch to first person is a design choice to help with the game's immersion. That's what Mamat is trying to tell everybody. Achieving full immersion in an FPP game is extremely important, and the decision made by the team to go 100% first person in Cyberpunk is something that will benefit it greatly from gameplay and storytelling perspectives, Mamat wrote on Twitter. However, because I read some of the responses, this tweet led to many in the responses accusing Mamat of only doing first person as a cost-cutting measure. There were a lot of people on Twitter responding to his tweet saying that they were just doing this to do this on the cheap, that the first person was just a choice to do on the cheap. for them to save money on the project. I personally, if you're doing a first-person game like this, like Cyberpunk, I wouldn't mind it being from the first-person perspective because I want to be immersed in the world. I want to feel like I'm actually standing there talking to these people and actually walking around. I kind of like the first-person point of view for some things. So to me, putting it 100% first person and putting you in the Cyberpunk world, I find that as an advantage and not a disadvantage. And now she's barking because I stuck her in the room. Let me see. Neil, it's weird because first person would save money in that you don't need to show the player model and thus work on it as much, but they still have this customization, so I wonder when you will actually see it. Well, I mean, it's okay. It says, that said, players will still be able to see their characters in the inventory screen during driving sequences, in mirrors, and very occasionally in some of the cutscenes, Mamat writes, so there will be some exceptions. In this game, we wanted to put you in the shoes and in the body of the character you're controlling so you feel this is your character. First person was one way to do that. Yeah. So you'll still see what your character looks like, but not all the time, which is fine with me. So yeah. Let me stop recording. All right, so oops, that's the wrong one. Uncharted 2, 3, and The Last of Us PS3 multiplayer servers go offline tomorrow, which is today, actually. Drive Club has been delisted from the PlayStation Store slightly too soon in some parts of the world and is due to have its servers switched off early next year. Now the multiplayer servers for PS3 games Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Drake's Deception, and The Last of Us are having their plugs pulled too. So this was actually alluded to back in June. See? This is an article from June. From the 3rd of September, the multiplayer servers in question will be turned off, but then Naughty Dog wants to celebrate the various titles. Henceforth, all DLC will be made free to every game via a bundle on the PlayStation Store, which will include all maps, gameplay additions, and vanity items. Thankfully, the multiplayer capabilities of PS4's The Last of Us Remastered are not affected by this, while Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, will never be brought over to multiplayer portion of the games it remastered in the first place. So, yeah. Those of you for PS4, well, I got to cover everybody. So, they make it seem here, because this is more or less, I think, the same company. They make it seem here that it's just going away forever. When actually, it's not. All they're doing is delisting it from multiplayer, but you can buy the entire bundle of the Uncharted games and still play the Uncharted games on the PS4. You just won't be able to do it multiplayer. Now, I don't have a PS4, so I've never played those. Who knows? All right, here we go. You Elder Scrolls people. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Mysticism mods adds over 200 new spells and packs bug fixes and balance changes. So, here we go. Skyrim Mysticism mod features sweeping balance adjustment to vanilla spells, over 200 new spells added to the world, vendor tweaks to add flavor and enhance roleplay, rare spells hand-placed around the world, dozens of balance adjustments and bug fixes for vanilla scrolls, almost entirely scriptless, no impact on performance, creative use of vanilla assets for high-quality, visually interesting effects, complete rework of master spells that significantly increases their usefulness. So here we go. Pretty pictures. We have pretty pictures. We have pretty pictures. Mysticism is an amazing mod for Skyrim players on PC who want to spice up their gameplay experience. Yeah, it is nice. So, there we go. These spells are designed to feel like they belong in the world of Skyrim both mechanically and aesthetically. You can purchase them from vendors, loot them from dungeons, or find them hand-placed in carefully chosen locations around the world. Many of these spells reintroduce magical archetypes from previous games or expand on new magical archetypes introduced in Skyrim, such as sun magic and ash magic. The most current version of the mod is version 1.0.9, and Magus intends to add over 100 new staves for modded and vanilla spells to the game later on. Aside from the new special spells, the vendor changes the mysticism mod includes new additions and changes to the schools of conjuration, restoration, alteration, destruction, and illusion. So there you go. The new mysticism mod. Thanks for stopping by my little geek channel in corner of the internet. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, that's what the like button is for. If you didn't, well, there's that other button down there. There is a subscribe button. If you haven't yet, I'll give you that option by just letting you know it's down there. There is a bell, however fickle it does tend to be. And there are also links in the description to not only the trailer, but ways to support the content on this channel, other channels, and on blogs that I have as well. Until next time, guys, stay geeky.